Hello, Aldwyn, Altuney here. I am at Hotter, Home of the Arts, and we have the International Women's Day Festival, Gold Coast, Brisbane. Youth breakfast today, mentoring forum and awards ceremony has happened this morning. We've had 270 people in the room this morning. It's been absolutely insane, and now there's a whole panel of women leaders that are mentoring now the youth. We've got year 11 and 12 students have come all the way from northern New South Wales up to Brisbane, and in the outside area here overlooking beautiful skyline of the Gold Coast, we have the trade tables which I'll show you around, and then I'll take you inside and share some inspiration with you. Here's some cookies. There's Amelia Doorway is walking inside now. There she is. Amazing lady. It's her new book, Live Fearlessly. A beautiful view of the skyline, the Gold Coast. We've got the Q1 over there. And over here we've got my media table. Here we are, some of my photos. This is the story that was in the Gold Coast Sun. It came out last week, went in all three editions, the North, Central and South edition of the Gold Coast Sun. We've got one of our sponsors here putting his banners together. I might have a chat with him. So there you go, Women's Day Festival. Also in today's Gold Coast Bulletin, there's some photos in there thanks to Regina King and Peter Flowers. Thanks very much to those guys. The digital editions went up on the weekend. So check today's Gold Coast Bulletin out. We've had Channel 7, Channel 9 here today, which has been brilliant. We've had a whole lot of radio coverage to 4CRB, Juice 107.3, thanks to Bruce and Kathy from both those places. And I wonder if our sponsor would like to have a chat. Are you up for a chat with our Facebook Live audience?
Why not?
Yes?
Hi,
okay, beautiful.
Audience.
All right. So for those who don't know you, could you please share your name and where you're from?
Yes, certainly. Hi, I'm Tristram Morgan. I have a business called 365 Solutions Group. It's a small IT business specialising in helping small to medium enterprise make the most of Office 365 and Dynamics 365, particularly to keep their data secure and automate processes. That's the sales pitch over.
Brilliant. And now Tristram was here at the gala, and he's here again at the Youth Awards. He's the only male sponsor, and it's so great to have some men in the audience. It's certainly not exclusive of men. International Women's Day Festival is about celebrating women, and of course the amazing men in our lives who also help to ground us often and help make us better women often as well. So Tristram, how has the breakfast been for you? You were here at the gala. How did you find the breakfast this morning?
I was. So the gala dinner was a fantastic evening. This breakfast this morning has been inspirational. There's so many young people who are so hugely accomplished at such a tender age. So 16-year-olds up on stage with all sorts of accolades and achievements. At 16 I was flat out and figuring out what I wanted to do the next day. I hadn't achieved anything much. So really quite inspirational to see what they're doing. But also speaking to the crowd felt a little trickier today. I think because it's more impactful when you're talking to young, tender minds, you've got to be a little more thoughtful of the message you're sending. And
Sure.
so, yeah, much as I spoke on Friday night, and it's the first time I've spoken for a little while to such a large audience, that was less challenging than it was today. So, but yeah, so it's just an incredible group of young women who are achieving amazing things. So I look forward to seeing what they do in the future.
Well, there's also a lot more people here today. There's 270 people or so in the crowd, so it was packed. This whole room was absolutely chock-a-block with tables and with students from northern New South Wales up to Brisbane.
Yeah.
So it's a great crowd here. And what's some inspiration that you've got this morning from these students and from hearing some of the mentors?
I think the fact is that there are no barriers, there are no boundaries other than the ones that you accept. So, we've got people who are achieving on an international basis, future Olympians, no shadow of a doubt. We've got people who've developed important apps for mental health care, people who are driving social justice campaigns, which was the category that I chose to sponsor. that are really making a difference at grassroots. So age is no barrier, sex is no barrier. There are no barriers except the ones that we accept for ourselves. So that's the key message that I've really come away with from both events, but particularly today with such youthful exuberance and achievement at a tender age.
Yes, I would absolutely agree with that. And if people want to connect with you, Tristram, where can they go?
Sure. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Tristram Morgan. There aren't many of me, so it's a small pool to find me in, or 365solutionsgroup.com.au. And if you have any questions about anything IT or systems related, we'd be very happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tristram. Thanks for your support.
Thanks very much, Aldwyn.
Thank you. All right, that's Tristram Morgan from 365 Solutions. We've also had Donnelly Perfect here. This is her trade store behind me. There she is. Also a very inspiring lady sharing her gratitude chain and her peace tools this morning. I'm going to take you inside the room. I'm going to be quiet now and I'm going to let the mentoring forum panel speakers share some inspiration.
Overestimate ourselves in short-term goals and underestimate ourselves in the long-term goal, which is life. So I don't know where I'll be after 5 years, but if I'm still alive, I'd be equally hungry and doing something.
I think for me, joining as a sailor, so I went general entry. I'd like to go back to school or study, so undertake university and possibly commission. Staying in the Defence Force. Away from that, I write poetry, so I'd also like to publish a book over the next 5 years.
Now, being in the military, it's always about goals and you've always got to have a plan. I have a couple of different plans, I guess. One of those is to stay employed by the Army on the Gold Coast. That's not the easiest thing to achieve. But my focus at the moment is really keeping my family in one location. Now my kids are in high school, so my priority is essentially not moving them around anymore for at least the next 6 years. So that means being able to do what I do and keep doing what I'm doing. I would love to do that. But you know, at the moment my priority is them, so if that means looking at options elsewhere, I think 25 years is probably a reasonable amount of time. So.
And for me, in 5 years, I hope to still be involved with the news. Whether I'm still on the road or not, we'll see. But I've been executive producing as well, so I can do that, which is great because then I get to direct the way it's going. I get to mentor young journalists, young cameramen. But on the side, apart from all the community stuff I do, I have costume characters that I created called the Rainbow Teddies. And I actually created them 20 years ago for my children. I'm talking six big fuzzy costume characters, 3 girls, 3 boys. And I would like to be doing DVDs, YouTube, getting it out there because personally I think we're starting our babies, our littlies under the age of 5 with so much technology. They're actually looking at things on screens instead of being out there singing, dancing, using their imaginations. And I think imagination is something we really need to cultivate because with the internet, a lot of it just comes and hits you. You know, if you lose your phone, a lot of people are absolutely devastated. I can't do anything, I haven't got my phone. It's like, well, someone's come up with all these ideas, so I would like to be promoting more imagination in the next generation, more individuality. One more?
We have a question up here, and we hope in the next 5 years too you'll all come back in some capacity with these awards as well. Okay?
If we're not dead. Oh, sorry. I did have a bit of a heart scare last year, so I'm all good.
What point in your careers did you realise that all your hard efforts were like really there, like it made sense what you did, like it all paid off in the end? What really made that decision for you guys?
For me, it was after 15 years in the Army, I got to deploy, so I sort of missed the original a lot of Australia, or the military didn't deploy for a long period of time, leading up to Timor. And when Timor was on, I was doing something else, so being able to deploy and actually put everything that you'd done in training and actually do that, you know, in a real life environment was really rewarding and really satisfying. And that, I guess, made it a lot more worthwhile. And having the opportunity to do that again, and you know, it's a different experience, different responsibilities at a slightly higher level second time around, was also really rewarding.
I think for me, I'm in a combat role, heavily involved with boarding operations. So you spend about 2 years at sea, 2 years ashore is your general ratio. As a female, I was sort of sitting in that stigma that females don't go to sea and are part of this specialist team that board vessels and stop the smuggling of drugs. So I stayed on board 4 years. I worked myself up to the point where my bosses really respected me. They knew I could do the job. And when I deployed to the Middle East, I was part of that team. So that's when it all paid off.
I know the time thing, but I'll quickly tell a quick story. It is a very, very interesting story. I come from that part of the world where arts is not very much celebrated. It wasn't celebrated at the time when I was growing, and especially from the family that I come from. If a girl is into arts or does dancing, acting, it is not considered very good. So when I was growing, I don't know, Italians? You're Italian, yes? So I come from an Indian family, and when I was growing, we lived in joint family system. So joint family system as in you have uncles, aunties, grandfather, everybody lives in one house. And the oldest is the one, which is the grandfather of the oldest uncle, the eldest uncle gets the say or are the boss of the family, whatever. So my mum and dad were the youngest of the lot. And I just happened to be the one who loves arts, and at that particular moment, dancing was my thing. My mum always knew about what I did, and the way I attended competitions, or the way I went out and did dancing competitions, was as follows. My mum used to be the one in charge of cooking in the evening. So the kitchen was outside here, she was cooking, she knew that I had a competition tonight, and this is from the age of 8. I had a little push bike. Those were times when you could ride push bikes all around the world. Anyway, so I had this little push bike. I used to tell my mum, "Mum, I'm going, it's the competition today, you know?" She's like, "Yes, good." She used to feed me, and I used to have this backpack as if I'm going to tuition classes or some school stuff. So I used to go from the back door, take my push bike with a backpack as if I'm going to do some school stuff. Mum knew about it. And then I used to go to a friend's house, let's say your house, and I used to go to this friend's house and I used to say, "Is it okay if I get ready?" And usually that friend would also be the one competing in the competition. So we both used to get ready together. Her mum, her sister, everybody else is getting her ready. So from a very young age, I learned how to do hair and makeup when you're going to dance, because I was all by myself. I'm doing my stuff, and I would say, "Would you mind if I come along in your car to the competition place, because my parents will come there to pick me up." So I used to go there. I know no one's coming because mum can't, she's busy in the kitchen, and dad was in his business. So I went to the competition, and most of the times they'd go, "Where's your mum? Where's your mum?" And said, "Oh, they must be in traffic." I would compete, 9 out of 10 times I used to get the medal, which is great. And then I'd say, "Do you mind? I think I can't see my parents. Either they've gone or they might have stuck in the traffic. Do you want to take me home again? My push bike's there anyways." So I used to come back that way and get back into normal clothes, put the stuff in the bag, and come back from the back door where I knew my mum's still cooking, and I'd tell Mum, "Won." And I used to go upstairs, put my medal or trophy where it belonged. This entire journey of kind of not fighting but struggling or doing things that I really wanted to do with the support of my parents and my teachers, I did, to a point where when I came to Australia, and only recently, 3 years ago, we started a company called Wild Dreamer Productions. And there was this one story that I wanted to get out into the wider world, which did come from 16th century of India, but it happened to be an Indian story. I wanted to portray it in a very globally palatable manner. It was an Indian story, but spoken in English, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to exaggerate. I must have met more than thousands of people. If not, I don't know. You told me go to this person, I went there. You told me go to this person, I went there. I turned around and went everywhere possible to tell what I wanted to do. And I did get knockbacks, more than acceptance. I only had 2 options, either stop or jump the hurdles like my mum had taught me to do, and do what I did. I felt that I achieved well. By the way, we had a house full show and we're doing amazingly well. I felt that I've achieved when just this January I received Australia Day Awards in Arts and Culture field or category. And that day I felt, not that award defines you, but it made me feel, yes, it was all worth it.
I suppose, by default, emergency services in any category is exceptionally challenging but inherently rewarding. So any time where you're able to see that you physically help someone, that's, those moments reinforce that all the effort is worth it. So in SES, obviously we do storm and flood and land search, so if you're just searching for someone, if you're not the person that finds them knowing they've been found safe and you've done your bit to help, that is rewarding in itself. With fire, fire as well, so obviously just being involved and lending a hand is rewarding in itself. So it reminds you why you do it.
Mine's a little bit of every time I get to address a different audience and I realise I really know my stuff. And I feel that I've contributed something to that audience and they can feel it. So for me, I can be on a deployment with Team Rubicon, or I can be working with military, or I can be doing work with a corporate and bringing national together, so we work with some national bodies as well. I can be addressing a school of audience of 360 and on a panel for something, as in today, or in different places. It's a multiple moment. I mean, there's no really one defining moment. Most would probably pick, I had a moment where I got to teach learning how to learn at a UN level and address all the nations in the world. But for me, it's that moment when you recognise that what you've done is valuable, and that the people in front of you got something from it, and you are contributing to them. So those are my moments that tell me that I've achieved something and I'm exactly where I need to be.
You're all okay, good. I think just being here for the last, since these awards started for me, 20 years, and being involved with this breakfast has been an incredible achievement. When just someone comes up, gives you a hug and says, thank you so much for doing this or that, it's changed the way I think, then that's really, really rewarding. I just want to call somebody up on stage, actually, who seems to have fallen through the cracks, and that upsets me, because we had so many students here, so many finalists, so many winners. But Giselle Davis, could you come up here, please? Giselle was in our sporting awards. She didn't get her certificate, but she didn't get her name on the PowerPoint. And I just want everyone to give her a bit of encouragement and have her come up here.
I'd just like to say hello to everybody today. I don't know that I'd be saying anything, but I just want to thank all the mentors and everybody for coming out here today. Thanking you for putting this on for everyone, and for allowing all the athletes and all the students here to be acknowledged for their hard work. It's really good when nothing goes unnoticed, and it really motivates everyone to keep going. It's nice to have a pat on the back, and yeah, just thank you for what you're doing for the next generation, and everyone is really inspiring us women to just do our best.
And since we're being impromptu, haven't had a chance to say this, but Graziella, do you want to just let her know what you would decided to do for her?
So Giselle, we got told about this in the break, and so I've got a couple of really great people in this room today with me. Two of my mentors. Can you stand up? Ben Gollings and also Paul Hutchinson. So Ben Gollings is a current world record holder, and was Sevens captain for the UK for 10 years, a decade. He's known all over the world. He's kind of famous if you put him in Google. And we've got Paul Hutchinson over there, our oldest living Bronco, who worked with the Broncos for 10 years. We have a number of great sportsmen and women that work for us. We work primarily with youth in sports right throughout the country and reward them. I would like to offer you one of our sports resilience and leadership programs. It's valued at $700, and also a leadership development program which you can do, which is $1,000. So you're welcome to receive that from us, and to have those two great mentors work with you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No one gets left behind.
That's great.
And that's what we're talking about. That sort of, you know, we're trying our best to sort of support everybody. And I apologise for that happening, but look, it turned out great. And that was the best thank you speech ever. I don't have to do it. Thank you, Giselle. I think that brings our forum to a close. Thank you, everybody, for coming this morning. For the teachers, the parents, bringing you all here. Thank you for all of our...
So there you have it. That was part of the Youth Mentoring Forum with some of the most inspiring ladies on the Gold Coast. And this whole event has been put together by the amazing Kathy Skipper-Dean. Well done, Kathy. You've just excelled yourself with this event, with not only this event, also the gala on Friday night. There's the 25th annual Gold Coast Brisbane International Women's Day Festival. It's the first year, actually, it's included Brisbane. Very exciting. It's just been awesome. There's been hundreds of people, lots of media support. So thank you to everyone who supported the 25th annual International Women's Day Festival for Gold Coast and Brisbane region here at Hotter, home of the arts on the Gold Coast. And if you'd like to connect with future events, just go to the Facebook page, 25th International Women's Day Festival, Gold Coast, Brisbane. It might change to 26 next year, so I have to edit that page. But anyway, look up for International Women's Day Festival. It'll be the only one with that, and is the official event. I'm Aldwyn. It's been a pleasure to share some of this inspiration with you. I'm going to get back in there and do some photos now as a media sponsor and supporter. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.